future is being written by algorithms, data, and the choices we make today. At the Center of Policy Research and Governance, CPRG, the Future of Society initiative was launched to ask a simple but urgent question. How will AI and emerging technologies reshape the way we live, learn, work, and govern? The initiative brings together policy research, engagement, and capacity building to ensure technology serves people ethically, responsibly, and inclusively. CPRG's flagship State of AI in India report offers one of the most comprehensive assessments of AI adoption across sectors, from education and healthcare to agriculture, law, and tourism. But the future is not abstract. It is unfolding today. India's first ever reports on AI in school and higher education by CPRG examine how young Indians are already using AI to shape aspirations. The findings sparked national debate and wide media coverage. Recognizing data as the backbone of AI innovation, CPRG launched the Data Daan initiative and the Data as a Service report, exploring jobs and opportunity in India's AI ecosystem. Beyond research, CPRG convenes dialogue. From Part AI1 in New Delhi to global forums in Belgrade and Paris, CPRG brings policymakers, educators, industry, and citizens together to reimagine AI and the future of society. The initiative is guided by a simple belief: technology should expand human potential and strengthen society.
Thank you everyone for joining this session. सेशन के स्टार्ट करने से पहले मैं कुछ CPRG और फ्यूचर ऑफ सोसाइटी का जो पूरा जॉइंट इनिशिएटिव है उसके बारे में बताना चाहता हूँ. सेंटर ऑफ पॉलिसी रिसर्च एंड गवर्नेंस एक पॉलिसी थिंक टैंक है जो पॉलिसी एंड गवर्नेंस के इशू पर लगातार अलग अलग फील्ड पर रिसर्च कर रहा है. और 2 साल पहले इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी और सोसाइटी के जो रिलेशन है उसकी स्टडी करने को लेकर के हमने एक फ्यूचर ऑफ सोसाइटी एक सेंटर डेवलप किया. और अंडर फ्यूचर ऑफ सोसाइटी वी आर continuously working on the various sector, producing report, doing a lot of stakeholder consultation. इसी के लाइट में just 1 year before we have published one report, usage of AI in higher education. Now we have just launched, going to release one more report, usage of AI in school education. In next month we are going to launch a report future of job. बहुत सारा फियर हो रहा है और ये फियर सिर्फ बाहर नहीं है, लोगों के माइंड में भी आ रहा है. वेदर जो उनकी एक्वायर्ड स्किल है वो नेक्स्ट 5 और 10 ईयर में वो सर्वाइव कर पाएगी नहीं कर पाएगी जैसे जैसे एमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी जा रही हैं. साथ में ये भी फियर है कि ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि जिस टाइप से टूल डेवलप हो रहे हैं उसमें ह्यूमन स्किल्स या ह्यूमन जो माइंड है इरेलेवेंट हो जाएगा. इन सब चीज़ों को ध्यान में रख करके कि किस टाइप का ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हो रहा है, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ फ्यूचर स्किल्स, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ फ्यूचर जॉब्स आर कमिंग, और वो जा रहे हैं कि वो ट्रांसफॉर्म हो रहे हैं, उसको लेकर के रिपोर्ट हम लोग लॉन्च करने वाले हैं. बट अभी वो नेक्स्ट मंथ में है. बट अभी जो हम रिपोर्ट लॉन्च करने जा रहे हैं दैट इज AI इन स्कूल एजुकेशन, और उसको लॉन्च करने के लिए मैं अपने सारे गेस्ट और प्रणव जी को स्टेज पर बुलाता हूँ.
Now we have a short presentation with some salient findings from our study. So AI in school education, this is a report, this is a survey report that we have conducted late last year as part of our ongoing internal activities on mapping AI usage among students in India in various sectors in India. So over the past year, CPRG has now released 2 reports on AI adoption in education. So last year we released a report on AI adoption in higher education. This was the first ever survey-based report in India on mapping everyday AI use among college students. Today, now we are launching our new report on AI adoption in school education. Both studies have been conducted in Delhi, where we have actually gone to students, interviewed them, to understand what are they using AI for, how often they are using AI for, and what are various challenges and opinion on usage of AI. So firstly, if we just compare our broad findings, what we find is that AI use among school students remains relatively high, though marginally lower than what we found among college students within the same city, because both studies were conducted in Delhi. Yet what we find is that nearly 50% of students, and these are of course, these are students from private schools in Delhi, that was our limited sample, almost 50% of them use AI based tools. These could be generative AI platforms or other AI tools multiple times a week. What are patterns of AI or edtech use as per academic stream? So what we are finding is that while AI use, especially generative AI platforms such as ChatGPT, Gemini, remains relatively high, what this is also leading to some sort of a challenge to traditional methods of learning and edtech platforms that had become extremely prominent and widely used over the past few years. Then what are students using AI for? So apart from asking how often are students using AI, we also try to delve into what are they using AI for. And what we find in our study is that AI use is essentially concentrated for generally searching for new academic information while studying or writing assistance. And this of course varies across streams because some students may be more engaged in practice solving, question solving, and AI use depends on usage. But however, what we find is that among science students, for instance, while there's high AI usage for learning concepts, there is very limited usage for structured tasks like calculations or solving questions, because that is where various AI platforms still have relatively low accuracy. Now, what is perceived helpfulness of AI for school exams and entrances? And here, what we find are a few things. One, there is relatively high perceived helpfulness of AI platforms for both studying for school exams and entrance exams, while especially for entrance exams, students who are in the science stream are more likely to prepare for entrance exams, are still more dependent on offline classes or edtech platforms. Yet the level at which we are seeing perceived AI helpfulness, it means that there is an emerging challenge that is coming to edtech platforms through free usage of generative AI platforms. AI support in learning and performance. So how do students rate AI-based platforms or AI-based tools in terms of their actual impact? And what we find is that apart from, of course, learning complex topics, improving their time management, there's a substantial proportion of students who are actually attributing improvement in their academic performance to use of AI platforms. At the same time, students report issues with accuracy and challenges in AI use. One of the major challenges with respect to AI use is that a significant proportion of students regularly encounter AI hallucination or are able to identify that they are getting incorrect information. Then secondly, as I mentioned, when it comes to accuracy for logical or numerical subjects, there is relatively lower reported accuracy. Again, this is something that various platforms are still working on in terms of trying to improve their performance and accuracy. Next is, apart from their overall planning and understanding overall AI uses, we also try to compare AI platforms and their performance with other tools. So what we did was we asked students, number one, are AI platforms better than YouTube or ICT-based learning? And there what we find is that there's still overwhelming support for YouTube, video, or ICT-based learning tools. Secondly, there's a whole question of adaptive learning and AI addressing individual needs. Here, there is an overwhelming evaluation by students that while tools might be helpful, they are not necessarily providing solutions that are specific to their needs. And this, of course, might be because of the nature of AI tools that students are using, which is in most cases free models of generative AI platforms, as opposed to specific AI tools that are actually able to undertake adaptive learning. And then finally, we tried to ask about AI versus human interaction. So the idea of AI tutors or AI-based learning tools replacing in-person teaching. There again, there's essentially overwhelming support for the idea that students still prefer traditional human interaction-based learning. So what we're finding in our study is that while AI is definitely emerging, as AI use is definitely increasing significantly among students, it is still considered as a supplementary tool as opposed to a replacement or substitute for traditional teaching. So these were some of the findings. We have more detailed findings in our report. And at the end, I would just like to thank our team that worked on this report. I would like to thank Nitin Mehta and Ms. Suchitra Tripathi for their guidance and oversee of this research. And I would like to thank our team members, Gauri, Shreya, Anupriya, Rashi, Mika, and Shugal for their active involvement and participation in the study. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pranavji, for the presentation. Today, as a panelist, now we have Professor K.K. Agrawal, sir, President, South Asian University, We have Professor Pankaj Arora, sir, Chairperson of National Council of Teacher Education. Shri Suresh Yadav, sir, Executive Director, Commonwealth Secretariat. Anurag B. Patil, sir, Additional Secretary, Higher Education. And we have Aditi Nanda, Director, Education and Industry, Intel. And Agrawal, sir, you have seen, the transformation during IT movement. और अगर मैं उसको ठीक से करेक्टली इफ आई कैन अलाइन, उस समय आपने इंद्रप्रस्थ यूनिवर्सिटी डेवलप की थी. एंड मे बी बिकॉज यू आर उस समय आईटी का बूम भी चल रहा था एंड यू आर इन द प्रोसेस टू डेवलप ए न्यू इंस्टीट्यूशन. सो जब आप इंस्टीट्यूशन डेवलप कर रहे होंगे तो उस समय आपके माइंड में हो रहा होगा फॉर द हाउ आईटी इज गोइंग टू चैलेंज दोज काइंड ऑफ ट्रेडिशनल और कंजर्वेटिव अप्रोच ऑफ इंस्टीट्यूशंस. Now again you are the president of South Asian University. It's one of the iconic institution in India. And again you are facing new challenge, from the AI. So how you are how you are finding this AI is different from the past IT? Because in your lifetime you have seen two movements. First IT, now AI, and at the same time you are developing two new institutions. Because before you, Sau was, not in that position, but now Sau is leading. So how you are finding?
Thank you, Ramanandji, for the question. Yes, in a way, when I was asked to develop the very first university in Delhi, Indraprastha University, and it was a challenge because it was the first university in the country. And you're very right, IT movement was also in the offing. It probably happened by coincidence that the Vice Chancellor, which is me, which was appointed at that time, belonged to the discipline of IT. This was probably never a calculation, but it happened. But it happened for the good of the country and the university, I believe, because you could get two in one kind of a person to develop. So we made sure that right from beginning, IT is, so that was the time when, if you remember, I saw the students in Delhi. Incidentally, I think this was the first university in Delhi for the students after Delhi University, who was an affiliating university, so number one. So I was seeing the students go to the Delhi University colleges. They are not satisfied with the employment. And in the evening, they go to a tech company and do a course there. Now, that was very much disturbing to me, why the students should feel not very satisfied at the end of the formal school or formal college and then try to do that. So my first thing was, let's combine the two. So our curriculum itself should integrate both. If the students have a job in IT sector, why should we not realize this and make sure that every subject is more IT savvy and so on and so forth. Now when I am here, the challenge obviously, as you say, is AI. AI is fortunately being adopted by the youngsters even faster, which was expected. IT was also adopted by them faster than the elders. AI is being adopted much faster than elders, which is a good sign. Only thing which one has to see is, as I said, in the whole process of using AI, let's make sure it supplements our creativity. It does not give us a shortcut to creativity and thereby reduce our thinking powers. That is a challenge which we have to face in academics. Short of that, it's a good opportunity for all of us.
Suresh sir, while working with President Mukherjee, you have introduced a lot of technological tool and lot of innovation, not only in the field of in the finance ministry, but as a advisor of President, you have introduced a lot of educational innovation as well. And I think that was before 2000 time of 2014 and 15. After the COVID-19, the educational institution has been changed, and It is, getting changed very fast. How, you will analyze and how will assess this kind of change, and what what will you suggest, to educational institution and to the head of the institution to, to address those challenges posed by AI and other emerging technology?
Thank you very much. And first of all, a big congratulations on this fantastic report, which talks about the AI in school education, and also your previous reports, which talks about AI. And I think it's a very good documentation to understand where we stand as a society, as a country, as in institutions in the emerging landscape. COVID changed, Ramananji, drastically the way the world look at the various way of doing the things. I mean, going to the office was normal. Now, not going to the office is normal. So there is a fundamental shift. It's very difficult to get the people back to office, and the argument is that if I can do my job better while sitting my home, why do you want me to come to the office? So these are the fundamental shift which we have witnessed post-COVID. And then, if you look at the artificial intelligence, it's a paradigm shift. It's not only 180 degree, it's a 360 degree shift. We don't know which direction and what direction we are going. Any organization, any society, any institution which is not live and kicking to this new emerging reality will be fossilized. Remember, we have in 180 controlling the almost 1/3 GDP of the world. And it was not the country which was leading, it were the institutions. It were the institutions of that time which were producing the skill which can produce the goods and services and the material which can dominate the world. So it was the role of the institutions. Of course, the government has now tried to recreate Nalanda, which is coming out very well. So the point I'm trying to emphasize is that the role of educational institutions is of paramount importance. No institutions can dominate the world. No country can dominate the world unless the institutions dominate the world. If you look today, US is dominating the world not because of the military power, but because of the higher education system. If you look at the Chinese universities are coming on the top. The number of research in field of computer science, AI, machine learning, computer vision is dwarfing the research being done in the United States now. So that's the level of the shift. So when I'm talking about, in your topic, reimagining the education system in India, I'm not talking of today, I'm talking of India of 2050, India of 2100. And one thing I keep saying that India, a lot of people say it's a $5 trillion economy. They are very happy that we are the third largest in PPP, fourth largest in the other term. But I'm not happy because India, as of now, of 1.5 billion people, if you look at the European standard of GDP per capita, we should be more than 70 trillion. If you look at the American standards of GDP, we should be more than 150 trillion, more than the size of the world economy. So that is the level, that is the where we have to think that what kind of institutions we need, what kind of infrastructure we need, what kind of student we need. Is it the degree, the undergrad degree, master's degree, PhD's degree? I got all the degrees. I studied in India from IIT, Indian School of Business. I studied in US, UK, Germany, Sweden, everywhere I have just to educate myself that how the things are different, what are the fundamental difference. So that is something which we have to realize and not do the reforms. This is not the time for doing the reforms in the higher education system. It's like reimagining. You see, what we reimagine in India in terms of digital India, we are getting the dividend. We are a country which is entirely on different level, generating billions of transactions on the digital UPI system, which was unheard. So similarly, we need a higher education system, we need a general education system, which can give an exponential bump to India's story. And that's not going to be the normal system. It's going to be something very, very different. And that is going to be based on the foundation of the technologies. We have been talking that this is the first time in the history of India, though it has been tried several times in the past, to link the North and South. Language barriers always existed. But AI dismantles the barrier. I was in my village, we set up AI lab, we set up AI Chopal, and my message to the villagers, you can speak in your Bhojpuri to US, to Russia, to Japan. So that is the first time a fundamental shift in connectivity is happening around the world. And India being a young nation, a people of, a country of young people, almost 44 million students in the higher education ecosystem, almost running parallel to China, we have that power and potential to change. And the moment we are able to use this technology, I'm sure that we will realize the potential. So I say in terms of potential, I say I am number one economy. India is number one economy, not third or fourth. So that's the mindset, because I have to reach to my potential, and I will reach the potential only when I know my potential, what it exists. So there is a huge responsibility of the Indians of the present generation, not only for themselves, but the Indians of 2100, Indians of 2050. And if we are not able to capitalize, this AI boom will be left behind. If you see the geopolitics around the world, we say it's a new war and all, but it's the technology war, it's the AI war. Countries are understanding that those who will dominate AI, they will dominate the world for the next century. So we have to lap it. We have no option as a nation. And the education system, which is one of the biggest in the world, will have a very catalytic role in realizing that dream of India of 2100. Thank you, and over to you, Ramananji.
Pankaj sir, as a head and dean, you have changed the curriculum of University of Delhi. You have also, introduced a lot of skill-based course during your time and make it, outcome-oriented. But the AI challenge is new, and now as a chairperson of NCT, you also seeing a lot of diversity among the institutions, from the Jhabua to Delhi, and it's a multi-layer system. And as chairperson of NCT, how will you introduce ensure कि जो सारे institutions हैं वो they can respond in the same manner to the challenge of AI, because there are a lot of diversity in India, and there is a lot of diversity about having those kind of resources, because AI also need lot of resources, not only in financial term, but in the term of technology and kind of having electricity and other thing. So how do you see and how will you ensure?
Thank you. First, I would like to congratulate CPRG for bringing this much awaited and meaningful report on school education, AI in school education. My compliments to Ramanand and his team for bringing it out and organizing this panel discussion on reimagining education in the age of AI. See, AI is gradually, steadily, and very calmly creating its space in our daily life, whether we like it or no, whether we are with it or not, but it is finding its space. It's in very subtle way, it is becoming part of our working also, whatever profession we are following. If we say that epistemic shift in education, then we must say that structural and epistemic shift is not merely technological, it is fundamental change, that how knowledge is produced, assessed, and evaluated in the day-to-day life of a student. If we look at teacher education, yes, in CI, during my headship, we brought new programs, we revised all the curriculums of B.Ed, M.Ed, ITEP. And during those changes, our focus was to meet the expectations of young learners in 21st century. Young learner is into technology throughout. When I was doing my college, those days computers came to the world. And we were very scared of computers. We were told that unemployment will increase because one computer will work in place of 4 or 5 people. So as a young student, we protested against this technology. But today, reality is different. The computer is giving us multiple new avenues of employment in our daily life. So when you revise curriculum, 2 things I would like to mention here. One, curriculum revision exercise at University of Delhi took place in 2019. And this entire exercise was techno-based. We did it through dashboard system without human intervention, without having formal meetings and budget of lakhs of rupees to meet, to eat, to TA, to DA and everything. So 0 penny was spent when 72 programs were revised for LOCF curriculum framework. And then in CI, when we took up this exercise, again I followed the same model. Techno-oriented, technology-supported revision took place. In a record period of 2 months, we revised almost all the courses in education at University of Delhi. Now, if we look at role of a teacher, what type of teacher we need to meet a future generation. In my family, I have teachers who are dealing with class 3 students, class 7 students, and senior secondary classes, as well as university teaching. They all are saying AI is posing a threat to cognitive development of the learner. Yes, it is posing a threat. But at the same time, we must realize that AI is not going to replace teachers. Teachers are always there. And here, I say, they both complement each other. No challenge, no competition between two. They complement because a teacher, after the use of AI-based technology or video or some other context, a teacher is the person who can create sensitivity in the class related to the topic, as well as allow diverse opinions on the same topic. So AI can assist. AI cannot be a master. It is an assistant. If we use it for ethical reasoning, if we use it for creativity, collaboration, adaptability, I see teachers will increasingly function as mentors and learning designers, not learning followers, and ethical guides and facilitators of inquiry in a classroom situation, as well as in writing textbooks and developing curriculum. AI-based output demand AI supervision. AI supervision, I mean, AI cannot be left free to design any curriculum. We need to supervise it. When I say, we all know difference between governance and leadership. Governance, I call like, governance means compliance manager. If whatever is coming to you, you are implementing it in a organization, whether it is a college, university, or any other organization level. And if you are an academic leader, then you make a change in that compliance. Compliance will take place because governance is essential. But at the same time, you bring change according to the needs of your institution, needs of your students, needs of your financial resources, etc. Similarly, in education, we must not become AI followers. We should become AI leaders for the time. Yesterday, Honorable Prime Minister said we have tremendous potential to become AI leaders for the world. In those lines, as NCT chairman, we have brought 2 new programs, NPST, National Professional Standards for Teachers, and NMM, National Mentoring Mission. Both are designed on a digital platform, on a digital world. And AI is helping us analyzing people's queries, their questions, their anxiety, and helping them to identify right mentor for them. And mentor-mentee is always a guru-shishya context, which is very meaningful and useful. I will close my this remark by saying, now we are moving away from treating technology as one-off workshop. Rather than, we should shift towards multi-semester AI spine. AI is spine of entire education system nowadays. And our new program, ITAP, have multiple contexts of AI-based technology. We must transit from product-only evaluation to process-rich evidence of learning. That is more meaningful. In 2012, CBSE brought continuous comprehensive evaluation. Now AI is helping us to go for process-rich evidence in learning. Risk landscape is there, bias, hallucinations are there, but uneven access to technology is also a challenge that should be taken into consideration. My last closing remark is AI plus education can take us towards Viksit Bharat 2047. AI cannot be, is not a choice, it is a part of our life and providing us multiple new methods of research, new methods of industrial internship, but education which is providing culture, language and humanistic approach, both need to work hand in hand for better future for Viksit Bharat 2047. Thank you.
पाटिल सर, एज ए एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी स्कूल एजुकेशन, आपने टेक्नोलॉजी को एम्बेडेड किया था एंड थ्रू टेक्नोलॉजी यू हैव बीन ट्रैक नॉट ओनली निपुण बट अदर प्लेटफॉर्म को इतना ट्रांसफॉर्म किया कि जिससे जो लर्निंग आउटकम पे जो फोकस था गवर्नमेंट का वो काफ़ी इम्प्रूव हुआ. नाउ यू आर इन हायर एजुकेशन एंड हायर एजुकेशन इज अ वेरी डाइवर्स सेक्टर एंड द सेम टाइम इन कॉन्ट्रास्ट टू स्कूल एजुकेशन, हायर एजुकेशन में आपके पास कंट्रोलिंग पावर भी एक तरीके से ज़्यादा होती है. स्कूल एजुकेशन इज सब्जेक्ट टू सम टाइम इन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लिस्ट, सो दैट्स वाई. अभी आपका क्या विजन है टू टू ट्रांसफॉर्म दोज हायर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन इन द एज ऑफ AI, क्योंकि AI का एक जो चैलेंज है वो लगातार आ रहा है, नॉट ओनली फॉर द स्टूडेंट्स बट एज वेल एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर एज वेल. और उस टाइम में आपकी क्या प्लानिंग कर रहे हो कि हाउ विल यू एड्रेस दोज इशूज?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I would like to ask few of the, I think I'm seeing a lot of students here, so can somebody tell me that how much time telephone took to reach to 5 crore subscriber or users? Any guesses? 30 years, good guess. Anybody else? Quickly. 50 years, okay, good. Some more? Yes, somebody is telling right. आपने सही बोला 75 years, yes. So it took 5 crore people को जब टेलीफोन मिला, it took 75 years. It took 38 years to reach this radio, took 38 years to reach to 5 crore people. Our ChatGPT, any guesses? 1 week. Gemini took for 60 days to reach to the 5 crore people, whereas ChatGPT took 40 days to reach to 5 crore people. So this is the, I think there is a quantum jump or whatever you say, it is a huge jump. And with this, it is a big challenge for the educationists and both school and higher education. I can just read some figures for benefit of you, that in world, we are having around, say, mobile users in the world, there are 749 crore people, whereas India 120 crore people. Internet 600 crore people, they are using it. In India it is 100 crore. In Google world 580 crore people are using Google, whereas in India it is 80 crore. And ChatGPT world it is 80 crore. This is last month's data, not this month. So around 7 crore people they are using ChatGPT in India and 1 crore in Gemini. So around maybe by this time 10 crore people will be using ChatGPT and Gemini here. Now the challenges what are coming up, I will come to that. I'm not pessimistic at all. But if you see in the education ecosystem, as Suresh sir also has told and other speakers also has told, this is very important to see what is the this cohort. Around 25 crore children are in the school education and 4.6 crore children students are in the higher education. So around 30 crore we can say. Now 15 lakh schools are there in India. And right now, if you see the infrastructure, around 4 lakh schools only having the computers, ICT labs and tablets and other things. So it is a huge challenge to take the AI revolution to last mile, which is, we are aware, As sir has also told, I worked in school education, now in higher education. So we are having integrated approach and we are working on that, but we need your help. Second one, if you see in school education, around 1 crore teachers are there right now, and most of them are women. So which is really good change is happening there. But how many are AI savvy or AI literate? We are working on that, and sir, NCT chairman sir has already told on that, Pankaj sir has told on that. Now, coming to the different, digital divide. Delhi schools, if you say, and the remote area schools, the tribal areas or rural areas, you can see, madam is also from Bangalore. I last week went there. There is huge development. So the cities, the way they are catching up AI is huge, humongous progress is there. But the rural area and other places, it is a big challenge. Now, central schools like KVS, NVS, they are doing really good in catching up with the AI, using the AI technologies. Even CBSE is coming with the AI curriculum. Whereas in the report also I've seen, like Andhra, Assam, Tamil Nadu, and few other states, they're using the AI curriculum and AI tools for implementation in the education system. Whereas other states are yet to catch up. So there is little bit divide in this, and it will take time for India to catch up. But yes, all of us are now agreed that yes, AI is not going anywhere. AI has to be used. AI is useful, and at the same time, AI is not enough. We should treat AI as a machine, not as a human being, which is very, very important. AI, if you started taking as a human being, then it will be problem. There will be huge mental stress on the students and other the users also. So we are aware of this. That's why school education has taken very wise decision to introduce AI curriculum in 3rd grade. It is not to teach the AI, it is to teach what is AI, what are the uses of AI, and whether it is good or bad. So children should know about it, which is very, very important. So coming up generation, new generation, young generation must learn AI because it is very, very useful. Yesterday, as Pankaj sir has told, that Prime Minister has told that AI, India has to become hub of AI. And yesterday full day, we had the meeting with Spain universities. Today again we are having the meeting with the Spain universities. Like that, lot of meetings are going on, MOUs are happening. You may be knowing that IIT Madras has developed one tool where Dr. Kamakoti has spoken in Tamil, and it has been translated in 11 languages of India. As Suresh sir was also telling that when you speak in Bhojpuri, it can get translated in others. So there is huge potential. I seen from Shiksha Lokam, they shown me that again in Bihar, the villagers, the women, they're talking about dropouts. Why I got dropout, why my daughter is getting dropped out, what are the issues. They're talking in the local language, and AI is actually summarizing in English and various other languages. So they are talking, and with it that there is no typing, nothing else. It is getting summarized, classified, and as an administrator, we can take decisions. So AI is a boon if we are using it very properly, and AI will become a bane if it is misused or unethically used. As sir, you was asking me for the challenges in AI. Yes, there are many challenges. What we are doing right now is updating the curriculum. We are doing educational governance also is coming up. Many IITs, they brought AI schools in their campuses. They are having MOUs with Google, Microsoft, and various other places. And Wadhwani Foundation has also started one AI school in one of the IITs. Lot of investment is going on. We are already started AI COE in education, and IIT Madras is hosting that. Lot of work going in that. Sarvam is also helping us in those initiatives. But yes, there is parity, there is disparity. We need to sort out those issues. And AI is not only for the STEM, that we understood and we are implementing that way. Everybody has to understand what is AI and how we can take it forward. As Suresh sir has told about economy, I think we both have worked previously in Ministry of Education, Ministry of Finance together. I got his guidance there. So the way he has told, you can see it is, now we are talking about reimagining the education. So whatever you imagine, what is your vision, you we are going to achieve that. So we should not limit our vision. I think 140 crore population and plus it is coming up. It is required to have really big vision, but same time necessary skills. Skills are required. And one of the report suggests that if 1 year of schooling is happening, the 24% there is output increase in the labor output actually. Labor can, the output will increase by 24%. And in India, we are having these certain issues. If you see what labor force is giving the output in US, what is given in South Africa and what is given in India, there is really we need to think about it. So year of schooling is very, very important. We are having challenges of dropouts also. Luckily, Vidya Samiksha Kendras and other tools we are using to trace the dropouts and bring them in the mainstreaming. You can also see around 5 crore children are dropped out. And various state governments are working on that to bring it down. So European Union, few countries may be having this population of 5 crore. So challenges in India are more, but much more. But as Madam was also asking me, what will be the impact of AI Summit? I think it will be huge impact on us. Next 2 years, we can see the way India is going to change. As again, I can say one last example and come back. When I was working in banking department, people said ki there is something called payment through the mobiles. And when I was discussing with our CMDs of the banks, those days they are CMDs, now it is MDs. And they told me, sir, no, it is not going to work here. And South Africa started there. Airtel itself started it there. And 2016, when demo has come, we can see the huge impact. And now NPCI, we can see the way it is happening. Around 50% of digital transactions are happening from India, world's transactions. There is huge change. I think another 2 years, we can see there is huge change in AI, adaptability and using it. But one caution is that AI has to be used as a tool. It has to be used ethically, and it has to be used for the humanity. That is what I can say. Thank you so much. And we are getting prepared for that, sir. As IITs are far better, IIMs are far better, whereas central universities are catching up with this AI, and we are trying to help with them, sir. Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू सर. मुझे लगता है कि जैसे स्कूल एजुकेशन में सब आपने सबको एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे ले आए, वैसे ही हायर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन में भी वैसे ही ट्रांसफॉर्म आएगा. एंड वेदर इट इज ए IIT, IIM or other central institution, they will perform at same scale, and maybe जो other institution है उनका scale और भी बढ़ जाएगा. We have also Aditi Nanda, Director Education and Industry. Aditi, इंडिया के डिजिटल जर्नी में, एंड आई शुड से कि जो भी हमने जो लॉट ऑफ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन देखा है लास्ट 20 ईयर में, उसमें प्राइवेट सेक्टर का एक बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंस रहा है विद द गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशन, और उन्होंने जो अपने से भी कुछ काफ़ी इनोवेशन किया. कल ही हमने एक देखा कि शर्वम AI ने अपना एक लैंग्वेज मॉडल लॉन्च किया और उसको उसकी काफ़ी वो हुआ. तो इंटेल इंडिया के एजुकेशनल जर्नी से काफ़ी एसोसिएट रहा है. एज ए part of the industry, how do you see as a opportunity and challenge, not for the only industry but for the education sector as well?
Thank you, Dr. Ramanan, and thank you for having me here. It's been very interesting, and it's been a pleasure for me to listen to all the other panelists here. Got to learn quite a lot, and congratulations on the report. So very interesting and very pertinent point that you raise, that the industry also needs to work with different players, not just with the government but also academia, and create a change. So I have a very interesting job. I work with the ecosystem and industry, and in that I get to work with different startups, get to different ISVs, and really see the innovation that's happening. And some of these innovations are interesting to see because they are cutting edge, they are coming from India, for India, and then they go for the world. Like you just mentioned, sir, Patil sir was just talking about the digital payment, and I think you were mentioning M-Pesa from an Airtel perspective. So how we have taken the UPI and other things, and we are taking this to the world. It's a very proud moment. But it starts with an idea, and it starts with something that needs to be nurtured by everyone. If we have, and that's what the AI Summit, it's a great moment for all of us. We've put ourselves on the world map. We've shown the world that we can do great. And here is where the technology innovation is happening. And from an Intel perspective, we work not just very closely with higher ed, but also K-12. And of late, we've been working with some startups to come up with solutions which impact the students at large. So I was talking to somebody the other day, and I think Sresh sir was talking about, Bhojpuri getting translated. So I was talking to somebody and said, why are learning outcomes in the Indian tier 2, tier 3 and rural areas not as great? The response came कि बच्चे को मैथ्स और फिजिक्स नहीं समझ में आता, ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. बच्चे को इंग्लिश नहीं समझ में आता, ये प्रॉब्लम है. क्योंकि हमारा टीचिंग मीडियम वो बच्चे के लैंग्वेज में नहीं है. And what we are doing today in terms of making sure that the content reaches everybody in the language that they understand, I think that is going to be a game changer. And that is coming from AI. And AI is coming from a combination of people. Folks like all of us in the room coming together and saying, okay, let's make something that will have an impact at population at large. So those are things, and I was talking to you just before this. I said, India में ऐसा नहीं है कि people don't want to buy technology, or they're not afraid of technology. But the problem is, and how many of us as parents will always say, laptop नहीं, बच्चे को laptop नहीं देना, बच्चा बिगड़ जाएगा. But why are we not seeing the value? Why are we not seeing that a creation device like a laptop or something that is more than a consumption device? Where is the value creation in that? Can we have AI courses starting from class 3 onwards, going up to higher ed? And we have in fact a colleague of mine has worked very closely with CBSE to create a curriculum which has gone into schools, right? And Intel has worked together and helped put that together. We have a program called Unnati for higher ed. And now we are bringing in these courses which are AI for Future Workforce under that umbrella, which has courses like AI in manufacturing. And we have put this out in Gujarat Technical University, and recently we had somebody come in from there. This girl was the first generation to go to a college. She went through this program, and in this program we also had internship. So she had interned with a startup or with an industry in Surat that was doing basically textile manufacturing, and she created a project on defect detection using AI. So a kid from a rural area going to college for the first time, as the first generation going to college, being so confident about what she had created because it was being used in an industry and she could see the impact. I mean, those are the stories and those are things that make you feel like you want to work in this. The rewards are huge. I think that is what is needed, and Intel's doing obviously a great job of bringing these things together, and all the programs that we have, whether it's Unnati, whether it's Future for Workforce, whether it's the stuff that we do in the K-12 space. We've got an ISV, a startup that we work with, which is helping teachers become AI enabled. So creating, and it's all running locally. The content doesn't even need to go into the cloud. We have solutions running on AI PC, which is what Intel is now bringing to the market. And I would invite you all to please come visit our booth at, of course, AI Summit, because that's what has brought us all here. And we'll show you some of the really cool use cases and demos where voice to voice gets translated on the device. So you don't even need to connect to the internet. You don't even need to connect to the cloud. Everything is happening on the device. The content is there. And I think I heard hallucination as one problem. That is what you also, in the report identified. What if the content sits locally on the device itself? So you're only looking at class 9 science. So when a child asks about a question, maybe they're just wanting to know how do I get into NEET and JEE, the answer's coming from there. And it's coming from a language, coming in a language that the child understands. So what if that happens? And that exists today. We've worked on it. So think of it as a 24/7 tutor. You don't, and one more thing, you know, I don't know how many of you will relate to this, but at least I used to. When the teacher is teaching, सब समझ में आ जाता था. पर जब घर जाके वही कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ो तो ये क्या हुआ, ये कहाँ से गायब हो गया. तो जब ऐसा होता है, and if you are an introverted child, who do you go and ask? And how do you create that safe space of asking? You can have tuition teachers, you can have personalizers, but if there is a bot that is not judging this child and is saying, hey, come here, I'll teach you in the language you understand. मेरे से पूछो, and you know as a parent that this is all happening on the PC, it is all safeguarded, there are no, or at least there is lesser chance of hallucination. That is what we are working towards. And I'll finish with, because there are all esteemed panelists, I think I should finish with a quote. So, you know, Arthur C. Clarke said, technology, and I'm paraphrasing, technology done right is like magic. And if we bring that magic of technology plus AI to all kids in India, I think we've done our job. So that's what we are doing.
Thank you, Aditi. I think we have few minutes more, and we can have just, you know, a quick round intervention हो सकता है. Just on the issue when we are, you know, when we just try to reimagine institutions, ऐसी क्या दो चीज़ें हैं जो हमें फ्यूचर ऑफ इंस्टीट्यूशन में हम लोग देखना चाहते हैं या देखते हैं. एंड सर अग्रवाल सर, अगर मैं ऐसा पूछना चाहूँ, व्हाट थिंग यू वांट टू सी इन द फ्यूचर ऑफ हायर एजुकेशन में, ऐसी कौन सी चीज़ आप चाहते हो कि रहे?
रामानंद जी, फील्ड ऑफ हायर एजुकेशन में री इमेजिनिंग एआई क्या बात कर रहे हैं, तो मुझे लगता है जैसे अरोड़ा जी ने बताया कि डैशबोर्ड पे हमने सारा कुरिकुलम डिज़ाइन किया, हमें यूथ को डैशबोर्ड का पार्ट बनाना पड़ेगा. जी, एआई की जो पावर है, जो हमने नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में भी कहा कि स्टूडेंट बेस्ड एजुकेशन करना पड़ेगा. हर क्लासरूम में सारे बच्चों का लेवल एक होगा, ये जो असम्पशन हमें मासिफिकेशन ऑफ एजुकेशन पे ज़बरदस्ती लानी पड़ी, इससे बाहर आने की एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है हमारे पास, और इस अपॉर्चुनिटी को खोना एक बहुत बड़ा क्राइम होगा. Word, we shall have to come back to this individualization of education. Just taking advantage of my little longer journey in education, say Mr. Patil said the schools में अभी भी penetration थोड़ा कम है, तो I'll just like to remind him, when first time the computers were sent to the schools, one headmaster complained to me, sir, government ने कंप्यूटर तो दे दिया, इतना कॉस्टली मेरे स्टॉक में आ गया, एक बक्सा दिया नहीं जिसमें इसको बंद करके लॉक करूँ, तो मैं इसकी जिम्मेवारी कैसे लूँ. दैट वाज द स्टेज फ्रॉम वेयर वी हैव कम ए लॉन्ग वे, एंड नाउ वी हैव रीच्ड ए क्रिटिकल मास. द जर्नी इज नॉट गोइंग टू स्टॉप, जर्नी इज गोइंग टू बी एक्सेलरेटेड. जो हम फिजिक्स में एवलांच इफेक्ट कहते हैं, वो एवलांच इफेक्ट इसमें आ गया है, और उसको अरेस्ट ना होने दें, हमारी जिम्मेवारी है. यूथ उसको लेके जाएगा आगे. इंडिविजुअल की मैं बात करता हूँ, और एक इंटरनेशनल पर्सपेक्टिव में काफ़ी लोग हैं यहाँ. एक अफ्रीकन टीचर को एक बार डिप्यूट किया गया यूएनओ में, यूरोपियन टीचर को अफ्रीका में, तो उसने पूछा मुझे इस क्लास का मैथमेटिक्स पढ़ाने को मिला है, कैसी क्लास है? तो बताया गया अच्छी क्लास है, द स्टूडेंट्स आर गुड. ही गोज टू द क्लास द फर्स्ट डे, ही सेज हाउ मेनी टाइज of size 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter I will need to fill a room of 1 meter into 1. He felt it such a simple question, everybody should answer it. Nobody raised the hand. He was frustrated. Where have I come to teach if this is the level? And I was told it's a good class. Very frustrated. But finally a girl raised hand. He said, okay, at least somebody. She said, yes, come on, we'll work it together. He says, sir, everything is fine, but firstly tell us what is a tie. See, in that African area, the ties were never used. They were used for round rooms with round floors, and square tiles or rectangular tiles were not in the dictionary. And on that basis, we declare all that class failed in mathematics. That is what we are doing today. with the help of simple tests. So we have to find out what is the ground level situation and then go ahead on that to test the ingenuity of that. Lastly, we have not to teach the subjects, we have to teach the students. And therefore, for each student, what can we do? Again, I say AI is an opportunity, great opportunity. We are talking about reimagining higher education in this summit. And my request with all the persuasion is, let the youth assert themselves that we need these subjects to be taught for our degree. And technology enables us to do that. We will have to do that. That's my call on this.
Thank you, sir. Suresh, sir, in the same manner, when you reimagine institutions and you are heading up, you're a part of a global body, what kind of feature and what kind of, I will say 2 or 3 things you want to see in the future, futuristic educational institution?
Right. Thank you very much. Quickly, 3 points I would like to say. First, that if you look back 10 years back when social media was in India, there was a talk that whether we want to be a download nation or we want to an upload nation. So there was a lot of emphasis on creating content and uploading on the internet and the media so that creativity flourished. Now, the conversation has moved whether we want to be again a consumption nation or we want to be producing nation, we want to be creative nations. Now this time the opportunity is phenomenal. So we need to have a system where people create, not consume. That's the fundamental shift we need. Now the second thing I will say that university degrees, masters, PhDs, undergrad, for the job we have the qualification for the job. In some of the countries only high school is good enough for getting the jobs in the government, in the private sector, high school diploma. Do we want only the students to be studying, getting marks, getting distinction and or do we want the students to be the problem-solving young society? So I think we have to shift from a degree awarding institutions to a problem-solving institution. India has millions and trillions of problems in each and every corner. You pick up one problem, solve it, you get your degree and go. You don't need to pass all the examination. So that's the fundamental shift India needs if we want to go back what I said in the beginning, that we want to be a nation where skill, capability drives the economy, not the other way around. So that's the second. The third one you see, the 12th education system, the higher education system, the primary education systems works in silos. We have to find and technology allow it to do it to interconnect the entire systems. And in the US, the higher education and the high school systems are very well connected in the part of ecosystem. The moment we do that, we will have a thriving higher education, thriving education system, and pushing India into a very high growth trajectory, and also to realize the dream which I talk about, a #1 nations, not by 2050, 2070, but very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Pankaj sir, as a chairperson of NCT, आप जब एक टीचर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन को रीइमेजिन करते हैं या सोचते हैं कि फ्यूचर में टीचर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन कैसा होगा, तो ऐसे क्या या 2 या 3 फीचर आपके माइंड में आते हैं कि आपको लगता है कि फ्यूचर का टीचर एजुकेशन सेंटर ऐसा होना चाहिए?
Yes, as a regulator for teacher education, now Viksit Bharat Adhishtan is coming, where it has been proposed to go with AI-oriented regulator. That regulator is not supposed to have lot of human working for it, but 70 to 80% assessment will be done through AI. So AI is going to play an important role, not only as a regulator, but also as a norms and standard developer for the nation, for academic programs also and for teachers also. I think the responsibility to promote research ethics among young people is very, very critical at the moment. Somebody is writing a letter to his wife and asking AI to give me a letter. So this is ridiculous. It cannot give you emotion into that, personalized flavor to that. So research ethics, when you are doing any research for any class level, then we need to think of assessment devices, evaluation and assessment, which is lacking behind. We are developing content through AI, but we are not doing assessment through AI. This year, CBSE is trying to assess class 12 answer script through technology, but those would be only scanned documents, will check by teachers from their own remote place. But that is a beginning of bringing technology into assessment. And my last point would be Indian knowledge, Indian languages. We must start working very, very hard on this, because if we actually want to pass on Indian tradition to the next generation, AI can become an important tool for that. AI को अगर हम वेस्टर्न नॉलेज से बाहर निकालेंगे, इंडियन नॉलेज में, इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस में प्रमोट करेंगे, तो उससे हम आने वाली पीढ़ी को वास्तव में हल देंगे. और जैसा प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने कहा था कि हमारे पास दो AI हैं, एस्पायर्ड इंडिया एंड आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस दोनों. तो हमें दोनों का कॉम्बिनेशन ऑप्टिमम यूज पर लेके जाना चाहिए. थैंक यू.
Thank you, sir. Patil sir, from the ministry perspective, how you visualize future universities and what kind of change you want to bring higher education institution which you want to build for the future?
Again, same thing that as sir also, Suresh sir has told, that it should be integrated. School and higher educations, I would like to say that few universities has agreed now to reach out to 100 schools. In Pune, there is one university called COEP. So they are telling you every day one school will come, visit, see their libraries, see their laboratories, so meet their teachers. The teachers will go to the schools, they'll interact. Because many of them are not knowing what is the present school. And what I was in the school and today's school, there is huge change. Really huge change is there. So that has to be seen and it should be integrated. One more point that NEP says that there is innate talent among the students. So a student should understand that and work on it, hone your skills, and meaningfully contribute to the economy, which is very, very important. So once 140 crore population of India started contributing to the economy, means above the income tax level, I'm telling that pre-income tax level, so minimum 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs. It is going to be huge change here. Third point is brick mortar schools are going, universities are going. That is already, we are seeing there's huge change. But same time, teachers cannot be removed actually. The teachers, mentors, facilitators has to be there. And even we are requested, even Intel, we had last time meeting also with the tech companies to be mentor actually. You should also tell kids enough is enough. 1 hour up, you are playing with the games or you are using these things, so stop it there, which is really required. So ethical use is very, very important. Yes, we need to create a platform where all of the people can come, and that is what AI, COE in education happening with the Madras IIT, where schools and higher educations are coming together, higher institutions are coming together, private players also coming together. I recently seen one startup in IIT Delhi, where they don't like this I think this the hotel rooms and all that. No? So he not owned any hotel rooms at all, considered hotels like that. This startup don't have any classrooms, they don't have any infrastructure at all, but they teach in medical education actually with this permission from the regulator. Paramedicians basically are working it. Youngsters are here, a lot of youngsters there. Friends, their annual turnover is 200 crore in just last 2 years. And they are telling you another 1 year will reach 400 crore. So I think there is huge opportunity for all of us. We should work on it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Aditi, your comment on future of institution.
Sure, sir. I think everybody's done a great job of articulating that. यही कर लें सब हो जाएगा, I think. So that is what I'll say.
Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you for our eminent panel to put light on reimagining the institutions. और मुझे लगता है कि जो हम लोग सोच रहे हैं कि फ्यूचर का इंस्टीट्यूशन कैसा होगा, जब हम सोचना शुरू करेंगे तब तक वो बनना भी शुरू हो जाएगा. एंड थैंक यू एवरीवन.